Welcome, Cowboys! The Dallas Cowboys win their home opener, taking down, dominating the New York Jets 30-10. Let's talk about it.
Prescott, touchdown! Throw, look at the middle, sacked again by Parsons again. CeeDee Lamb, was he down? They say no for now, and he's into the end zone.
Another week, another win, and with another win, the defense dominates and the offense doesn't give the ball away. And this post-game reaction is very simple. If you can do those two things, I don't care what team you are, I don't care who you're coached by, I don't care who's on your team. If you do both those things, you take the ball away as a defense and you don't turn the ball over as an offense, you will win football games. That is a formula based in time. It has outlasted ages of innovation in football, in the game of football. And the Dallas Cowboys are playing that type of football right now. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Cowboys content. Welcome to the post-game reaction video. Look, I'll be right off the bat here before we jump into stats and my predictions and whether I was right or wrong. I feel like this was the game. This was the game for me. I know they're without Aaron Rodgers, I get it. But there was still some people who were choosing the Jets to win this game, believe it or not. I don't know what they were thinking. We tried to tell them. We tried to tell every single one of them. We're like, watch out for that defense. Watch out for Michael Parsons. We keep telling everyone that, and they're just not listening. Anyways, I digress. The Cowboys, they played a complete game. I saw something from this team that we didn't necessarily see a lot of last season. What I saw going from week 1 to week 2, obviously domination, beating the New York Giants 40-0, then now beating the Jets 30-10. I saw consistent domination. And if you look at the games last season, even with those large point spreads, and even though we were blowing people out, if you look in those games, and if you watch, and there's Cowboy fans that tune in and watch these games, and they know every play, you'll know that even in like a blowout, for example, against the Indianapolis Colts, where we won 54-19, there were interceptions, there was miscues, there was penalties within all of that. But what I'm seeing back-to-back weeks against quality football teams is we're being consistently dominant. And we got better this week. I thought we were better this week than we were last week. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I felt like this was the complete game. Obviously, the defense went out there, had themselves a day against Zach Wilson and this offense, which was to be expected. I know a lot of people are coming in here, they're like, you beat the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Well, no S word. I'm not going to say it, but no blah. I know, we tried to tell y'all, but you kept throwing it in our face about this defense. This Jets defense is the real deal. Well, we just put 30 points on them, and none of it was our defense. Our defense wasn't scoring like they were last week. They got the ball for us, but this was pure offense. And I really like the offense. They're lethal, man. They're lethal. And like I said in my pregame prediction video, y'all, I said I wanted to see Mike McCarthy dip into some basketball. And just like the San Antonio Spurs, right? With their pick and rolls and their slow offense. And then, it was a thing of beauty. But it was sometimes boring to watch. But you know what's so different about it? The Spurs were a dynasty. They won games. They won big games. They won championship games. And I'm on Twitter during this game, and everyone's talking about we're running the ball too much. We're running the ball too much. We should pass it. We should run up the score. No, shut up. That's the Kellen Moore offense. This is the Mike McCarthy offense, man. It was, I'll tell you what, as a football fan, that game's not going to get you ratings because it was boring, it was methodical, it was slow, but it was winning. Football is what it was, man. This is what I've been waiting for. Call me an old head. I'm not an old head, I'm 27, but call me an old head. That's the kind of football I want. It's like, they know that they know the best thing about this football team is the defense, and they play around the defense. If they don't get the first down, we'll punt it off. But anyways, I felt like the offense played really well. I liked the way this offense looked. I felt like Mike McCarthy called a really good game, and I told y'all in my pregame prediction video, I said they were going to come out of the gate, score on the first drive, and I knew it was going to be a little bit of a struggle in that first half because that Jets defense, it is the real deal. But we dropped 30 points on them. But like I said, I think this was a complete game. This is what really needed to reassure Cowboy fans. I know a lot of fans are going to be disappointed that we didn't put up more points. But come on, guys. We won the game. This is the kind of game that wins you. This is the kind of offensive play calling that wins you games in December, January. I love the field goals, man. And shout out to Brandon Aubrey. I'm scrolling here. 5 of 5. We got ourselves a kicker. 5 out of 5. Brandon Aubrey. And he made an extra point. But I'll put it this way, and I tweeted about it, and you guys should be following me. But I said, I'd rather have 12 plays, and I'm talking about not trying to come back in a game or trying to win a game, but to end a game when you already got the lead. I'd rather have a 12-play, 75-point yard drive that ends in points rather than going 2 plays, 5 plays, 70 yards, and some points. Because one is eating up the clock. One is eating up the game. One is giving your defense, which is the best thing on your football team, that's giving them rest. So I know y'all want to score more. Y'all want to score quickly. But man, this reminds me of the 90s. They're putting up points in the first 3 quarters so that they can just slow it down in the 4th quarter and take the game away from the other team. It's only 2 weeks in, I get that. But there's some promising things that we're seeing here with this Cowboys team that has me amped up and makes me want to double down about the fact that they are Super Bowl contenders. They got a defense that can not only stop your offense, but it's taking the ball away. 3 interceptions from our secondary. And if I count right here, we had 3 sacks, 2 of them coming from Micah Parsons. And on top of that, we have an offense which I believe is led by Dak Prescott, and I believe he's in the best situation he's ever been in his career, close to what he was in 2016. We got a great team around him where we're not relying on him anymore to win those games. We're not relying on him to throw 400, 500 yards. We're not doing any of that. We minimized his role with putting weapons around him. And granted, we don't have all the weapons out there, man. Brandon Cooks sat out today. That tells you how deep this team is, and that's what you need in a championship team, especially if you're going to make a playoff run. But I believe Dak is in the best situation he's ever been in his career, and I believe he's at the best he's ever been in his career. Earlier in his career, he didn't make the steps enough to pick apart a defense pre-snap and to throw the ball downfield. Remember Dink and Dak? But Dak has matured, man. We know he can sling that ball. He looks really good doing it too, and he's incredible against the pressure. But the thing now is, we're telling him, we don't need you to do that the entire game now. You can hand the ball off to Tony Pollard now. If you saw the game, he was dumping it down on flats out to the tight end, to Rico Dowdle, to Tony Pollard, on the rollout, just tossing it down, because we got playmakers. This is what happens when you surround your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, with actual players that can do something when the ball is in their hands. We got playmakers, and we got an offensive coordinator and an offensive play caller that knows that now. We don't have to scheme up anything extravagant now. We can scheme now where we can just get the ball in our receivers' hands, and they can do it. And you know who did it? CeeDee Lamb. I told y'all he was going to have a big game. I told y'all. A lot of people were like, against Sauce Gardner? Yes. Because CeeDee Lamb is him. He's a wide receiver number 1. 11 receptions, 143 yards. I told y'all he was going to have a big day. Except I thought he was going to have a touchdown. Did not have a touchdown, unfortunately. But CeeDee Lamb, man, he had himself a great game. Shout out to Jalen Tolbert. Only 3 catches for 18 yards, but he had some big catches. And unfortunately, Michael Gallup was on my fantasy team, and he only had 1 catch for 3 yards. But that's how deep this team is. Because if it's not CeeDee Lamb catching the ball and running against you, if it's not Brandon Cooks, it might be Michael Gallup. That's how deep this team is now. And we have to be taken seriously. And I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 31 of 38. I thought he was going to struggle against this defense, and it was going to be a tough fight. I didn't think he was going to play poorly, but I thought his role would be minimized in the sense where he'd be struggling against a pretty good defense that I thought. 31 of 38. 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And to all the haters out there, Dak Prescott has not thrown an interception. Now, granted, I will take the L because in the past couple of weeks, I have predicted that he was going to throw at least 1 interception. So I will own that. Dak Prescott not only is proving the league wrong, but I got it wrong. But that's the great thing about being a Cowboys content creator is I celebrated the fact that my quarterback has 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions on the year. And I'd gladly take the L as a content creator about that. I'm glad he's not throwing interceptions. He was terrific. He was doing exactly what I wanted him to do, and I talked about it in my pregame prediction video. We don't need him to go out there and throw it so many times and throw for 304 yards, even though he threw it 38 times, which is actually kind of surprising. But we did run the ball 25 times with Tony Pollard, and that's just Tony Pollard. There was actually 44 attempts for rushing with the offense. But Dak, man, he started that first half. What was it? Drop it down in the comments. 14 to 17 or something crazy like that. At one point, he was like 13 to 13. Dude was surgical. He was accurate. He was in the flow. He was hot. You could not touch him. You could not put it out. That's our quarterback now. That's because he's now on a team that's filled with talent, filled with depth, and that's what you need in the National Football League. This team's got it, man. This team's got it. And Dak Prescott played great, played exactly the game I wanted him to. 3 interceptions, like I said. Diggs, I had predicted. He got his first pick of the year. And then I'm scrolling here. Jaron Kearse was another that got the sack or got the interception. And Malik Hooker, our 3-headed dragon with the safeties. 2 of them got picks today. Not only do you have to worry about Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs, but you got to worry about Malik Hooker and Jaron Kearse. But Donovan Wilson's not even back on the field yet because he's still recovering from that calf injury that he sustained in the training camp. This team's deep, man. The depth on this team is insane. It's week 2, but all the concerns I had about week 1, even though it was a 40-0 win, I feel a lot more comfortable and confident after this win. The offense looked great. I love the boring, methodical, slow-moving, running offense to kill time off the clock. There wasn't fireworks in the second half, and that's what we want. Because this game was over at halftime. We just needed to keep that lead. Look, we're not going to win 50-10 anymore or anything like that. This is the new look offense. And what's most important about it is we're winning games. We're winning games. We're 2-0. And honestly, I don't know when we're going to lose. I don't know when we're going to lose with this kind of efficiency. I don't know when we're going to lose. We're definitely not going to lose next week against the Cardinals. We're definitely not going to lose back at home against the New England Patriots because not only are we 8-0 at home last season, but we're really good at home. And then we got the 49ers. Obviously, that is a worthy matchup. But we may not have some real competition until week 5. Week 1 through 4 is an easy 4-0 start like I predicted back in May when I made my season prediction video. Everyone was criticizing Mike McCarthy for sitting the guys out for preseason. Well, he's playing them through the preseason, right? This is the preseason right here. Those first 4 weeks of football here. Cowboys should be 4-0 by the time they go to San Francisco to line up against the 49ers. The 49ers could be 4-0 at that point, too. But other than that, guys, that's it. I love this team. I like how they look. They're better. It may not show up on the stats. Same way that we talk about DeMarcus Lawrence, who had another big day as well. DeMarcus Lawrence is not going to show up on the stat sheet the way that we want him to in terms of sacks, tackles for losses, or anything crazy like that. But we all know for a fact as Cowboy fans who watch this game, DeMarcus Lawrence makes an impact on this team. Without him, the Cowboys defense would not be as good. You have to start looking at this team in that way now. We're not going to show up on the stat sheet like we did the past couple of years with Kellen Moore calling plays. We're not going to be a top 5 offense. We're not going to be any of that. Throw that out of your head. Because at the end of the day, you could be a top 5 offense, you could lose in the Super Bowl. You could be a top 5 defense, top 10 defense, you could lose in the divisional round. We've seen that before happen. We're about winning games here in Dallas now. I'm challenging all us fans. Forget about the stat sheet. Throw it out the window. It's helpful to analyze games and to analyze progressions and analyze players. But all I care about is 2-0. We're winning, man. The Cowboys are a winning organization. We're Super Bowl contenders. And we're putting the league on notice with our defense. And our offense is exactly what the defense needed. That's all I got to say. Cowboys win. I'll be in Arizona next week watching the Cowboys beat down on the Cardinals. Easy 3-0. Draw it up already. But thank you so much for watching, guys. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Comment down below what your favorite thing about today was, and I'll see you guys next video. Go Cowboys.
Prescott.